Before I get started, as always, I want to give all the praise, honor, and glory to our power, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachaha Kodash, and double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and salutation and blessings to the hopeful elect scattered throughout the four winds. Okay, this will be part 2 to A House Divided and the Days Are Evil. I had recorded a whole video, and I don't understand what happened to the second part of the video. So I'm gonna just pick up right where it cut off, through the spirit. And again, Lord will is edifying and gives information to the hopeful elect of the times that we are living in. All right. Now, before I read this here in 1 Thessalonians 5, you had this guy Mayorkas that couldn't answer simple yes or no questions. All right. This last question he was asked was, is the crisis at the border making it unsafe for the people of the United States, as well as, the actual people that's coming over here seeking for a better life, all right? The aliens, so to speak, and a lot of them are the tribes. And he just couldn't give a proper answer, which shows that he knows. And when I get to this video here, all right, with Michael Yan and damn, I can't even think of his name right now. Mike Adams. With this interview here, okay, he's ground zero, and he's gonna mention Mayorkas actually at these UN camps orchestrating these things, expanding them, and making sure things go properly, so that they can move these assets, these people through up to the States. Matter of fact, I'm gonna play a little more of this because he asked this guy how many terrorists have come through the border on his watch. Let's listen. Okay, then we'll go to 1 Thessalonians 5. All right.
And security of the
Next question, Mr. Mayorkas. Has the crisis made aliens less safe? Yes or no?
Senator, we are seeking.
So you won't answer that question either. It's a yes or no. Has it made aliens less safe?
Senator, smugglers are exploiting.
Has the crisis made aliens less safe? Are you willing to answer it?
Senator, the smuggling organizations.
Okay, you're filibustering again. Let me ask you this question.
I couldn't keep a straight face in there. I'll be laughing at his old goofy ass in there, just bold face dancing around the questions when he knows exactly what's going on. And Michael Yan is gonna be the witness to that. Okay.
Have died under President Biden.
Senator, your phrasing of the question is actually quite misleading.
How many migrants died in 2022?
At our approaching our southern border?
Yes.
Precisely why we are seeking to
So
exclude the smuggling.
do you know the answer? Do you know how many died?
I do not.
You do not. Of course you don't. I know how many died. 853.
That is
853. And by the way, here are the numbers that have died every year. You go back to 1998, you see it's consistently between 300 and 400, 300, 400, 300, 400. Suddenly, 2021, what happens? You get in office, and that red line are dead bodies. I've been on the Rio Grande, and I've seen dead bodies floating there who've drowned because of your refusal to do your job. You don't even know how many have died. What do you say to the Texas farmers and ranchers who find pregnant ladies dead on their property, who find toddlers dead on their property? What do you say to them?
I say that is why precisely we are taking it to the smuggling organizations.
But you are not. That is simply not true.
Number two, it is
Let me read from the Wall Street Journal. The Wall Street Journal 2 weeks ago ran an article entitled, "It's like a graveyard. Record numbers of migrants are dying at the border." The story begins with this chilling line, quote, "Eagle Pass, Texas. Local officials keep a refrigerated truck to hold the bodies of migrants who drown in the currents of the Rio Grande while trying to cross the border into the U.S." Mr. Chairman, I ask unanimous consent that this article be entered into the record. Let me ask you a different question. How many children have been sexually assaulted by human traffickers under the Biden administration?
Senator, this is precisely why we instituted.
I don't want to lecture. It's a question. How many children have been sexually assaulted by human traffickers under your administration?
Senator, this is exactly why on January 5th we announced
Again,
the parole
do you know
program.
how many? Do you know how many children have been sexually assaulted?
This is why we.
Okay, you're going to refuse to answer that question as well. Let's move on. It's obvious you've been instructed to stonewall, so I'm not going to let you. You don't get to stonewall and filibuster. Now, one of my Democratic colleagues before said the Democrat talking point, quote, "This under the Biden administration." True or false, Secretary Mayorkas, 2020 was...
I want to get the lowest level of immigration.
I want to get to the question when he asked him if there's terrorists that entered into the U.S. Excuse me. Let me see if I can catch that.
COVID, it had nothing to do with building the wall, nothing to do with ending catch and release, nothing to do with remain in Mexico. With all respect, Mr. Secretary, that answer is laughable. And in fact, if you look at illegal immigration, let's look at CBP is you. That red line is Joe Biden. This to happen. Let me ask you, we now have over 5.5 million people who've entered this country illegally under Joe Biden. How many murderers have you released into America?
Senator, I'm not aware of any murderer whom we've.
So you don't know?
Senator, let me say something.
Do you know?
If you take a look at.
No, you don't get to give a speech. Do you know how many murderers you've released?
I'm just trying to answer your question.
How many rapists
Senator.
have you released?
Senator, I'm trying
Do you
to
know?
answer your question.
You can answer, I know or I don't know.
Senator, any individual who poses a public safety threat.
How many child
is
molesters have you
detained
released?
and removed into the United States, from the United States.
Oh, so your testimony under oath, subject to perjury, is that you have not released any murderers, rapists, or child molesters among the 5.5 million. Is that your testimony?
Mr. Chairman, may I have the opportunity?
No,
to
you may not. You may answer.
You see that? So they over here. You know what I'm saying? See, the Most High done made this thing a whole drama-filled ending. All right, this ending is getting ready to be an epic ending, man. You got murderers, you got rapists over here, and they all are here licking their chops, waiting for their time. And not just here in the States. Like I said, they over in London, all the Western nations. These people are being released into to wreak havoc. All right. Now I believe he's getting ready to say it. If not, we're gonna go move on to the next video.
Question.
You're not.
Is that your testimony? Yes or no?
Senator, you're not allowing me to answer your question.
I am allowing you to answer. I'm not allowing you to filibuster.
If you take a look at the pace of immigration in 2018 to 2019,
You're refusing to answer. Let's move on. Let's move on to gotaways. Gotaways are the people that get away that you know about. Now, what happened under your administration? Gotaways consistently down at this low line. Boom, you get in. And they go from below 180,000 to 600,000. Now, I'll tell you this about a gotaway. You don't know among those 600,000 a year, you have no idea how many are murderers, correct?
That is precisely why the
Correct?
number of gotaways.
Do you know how many of those are murderers?
That is precisely.
So you
why,
refuse to answer the question. You know how many are rapists? Do you know how many are rapists? This is a question. You're a lawyer. You know how to answer questions. Of the 600,000, do you know how many of them were rapists?
Senator, this is why.
So again, the answer is no. Let me ask you this. Do you know how many of them are terrorists? And I don't want to, Senator, here's my lecture on this. Do you know how many of the 600,000 gotaways were terrorists? Yes or no?
Senator, we are focused on the.
You refuse to answer that as well.
So as you can see, all right, He's guilty as all charged. He know what the hell is going on. And when we get to this video, Michael Yon is going to confirm that. But before we do that, let's read here. Okay, as you can see, there are sleeper cell soldiers that have been planted. And they've been coming up not only from the south of the border, from Canada, all right, even here on the West Coast, flying in to LAX, like he said. Well, actually, no. Michael Yon is gonna say this. Flying into LAX, flying into Miami, all right, into New York City, with visas, but really these are sleeper cells waiting to be activated. Okay, and this is gonna bring about Jacob's trouble, man. This is gonna bring about the time that we've been prophesying about, man. All right. This is 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 1. It says, "But of the times and the seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you." All right? Because why? The Most High has opened our mind to what time it is. We know what time we are living in, as it is written in 2 Ezra, the 9th chapter. All right? We measure the time diligently in itself. We in the time of war. We're not in the time of playing games, man. All right? We ain't in the time of getting your passport and going overseas to pop heathen women, or even to marry them and start families with them. That's what Jake is doing. Jake don't know what time they living in. Okay? It says, "For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night." All right? And it could be any day. Nice sunny day. People at the beach, you know what I'm saying? You riding around town with the drop top, you know what I'm saying? Feeling good, and a terrorist attack can change the course of society just like that. All right, they already are over here. Okay, for when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. All right? He was speaking about the gotaways. Okay? Over 600,000 gotaways that they know about. All right? Who are more than likely killers. All right? And this is not including the soldiers that have been coming over here. Okay? From these different nations. These UN soldiers from China. All right. You got soldiers from Russia coming over. Okay. Just waiting to be activated. And believe you me, they here. Okay. But ye, brethren, are not in darkness, that day should overtake you as a thief. All right. Because the Most High, like I said, has lit our candle to where we can see. All right, ye are the children of light and the children of the day. We are not of the night nor of darkness. Therefore, let us not sleep, Salakia, as do others, but let us watch and be sober, with a sober mind out here, man. All right, not caught up in the affairs of this life. Okay, because we soldiers out here, man. Okay, we soldiers out here, as it tells us in the book of Timothy. Okay, no man that warreth entangleth himself with the affairs of this life. You see that war is coming. You shouldn't be in no bullshit ass spirit, man, because it could mean your life, literally. Okay? Okay, for they that sleep in the night and they that be drunken are drunken in the night. You see what our people are up to. 2/3. They sleep as hell and they drunk. Even if they so-called woke, they don't know what the hell's going on. Okay? They have no clue what the hell is going on. And a lot of them are going to be snuffed out. All right? Soft targets. Meat puppets. Food. All right? Suddenly it's going to come upon them. All right? 1 Thessalonians 5:8. But let us who are of the day be sober, putting on the breastplate of faith and love, and for an helmet the hope of salvation. For the Most High have not appointed us to wrath, because all this, what we listening to and what we getting ready to listen to, is the wrath of the Lord. parts of the wrath of the Lord, man. Okay? There's gonna be all type of calamities going on. I mean, the RAPING is gonna be out of this world. Okay, this is the women of Babylon parade themselves on social media, and you don't think that these people, all right, that's coming over here, they giving them cell phones, all right, they're giving them money, and they own these social medias in the cut watching, okay, while Benita shaking her big ass, got her whole legs gapped open for the camera to see, thirst trapping men. These soldiers are plotting on you. Okay? They coming over here in groups, putting cities, and they seeing who's in the city. What? Cause you goofies, man. It's gonna be a very ill time. All right. And this is gonna be the wrath of the Lord, man. All that goes. Okay? And men are gonna be so afraid they ain't gonna know what to do. Jeremiah the 30th chapter. Okay? For the Most High have not appointed us to wrath, but to obtain salvation by our Lord Yahushua HaMashiach. All right? The Lord ain't gonna allow us to partake in getting messed up out here. Now we gonna see things. We even gonna be tested on things. But our hope is in Yahushua delivering us out of all situations. Okay? Who died for us, that whether we wake or sleep, we should live together with him. Wherefore comfort yourselves together and edify one another, even as also ye do. Now let me get that one in Ephesians, the days of evil. Okay? Ephesians 5 and about 15, I believe it is. And then we'll listen to this other video. Ephesians 5 and 15. See then that ye walk circumspectly. Don't be out here just moving around like, you know what I'm saying? I mean, we know, all right? But, you know what I'm saying? Paul is reiterating this to us, okay? See then that ye walk circumspectly, always checking around you, man. Don't just be going out to the malls and these big gatherings of people without your spiritual head on, man. Because it can go down. It can go down in major gatherings. Okay? Not as fools, but as wise. All right? Redeeming the time, because the days are evil. Point blank, period. We are not in peaches and cream time. All right? We in time of evil. Okay? Head always supposed to be on the swivel, knowing what's going on around, especially for you women out there. You women that believe. You shouldn't, you know what I'm saying? You should be circumspect as well. Okay? Now, let's go to this video. Actually, let me finish some. Let me read some more. It says, and be not drunk with wine, wherein is excess, but be filled with the Spirit. Now, wine, these different philosophies, caught up in these things of the world. Okay? Be filled with the Holy Spirit at all times, every move you make. Okay? Yahushua is our ultimate example. Okay? King David is another example. Okay? When he was out there moving around, hiding out, he was moving in the Spirit of the Lord, man. This is the time we living in. It's just we still got to go through these bullshit day-to-day motions of going to work, dealing with these people. But pretty soon, it's all going to change. All right? And that's when your faith is going to truly kick in. All right? Whether you truly believe or not. All right, now let's go to this video here. I got a few marker points. I don't want to make this all long and drawn out, but however the spirit has it flow, we just gonna rock with it, man. All right, now again, this is Michael Yan. He's a war correspondent, and this is Mike Adams. You know, which he has his own website. This Brighteon is his, and he, you know, brings out a lot of information and has a lot of contact. All right. So Michael Yan is there in Panama at one of the UN camps that's being ran by the U.S. Okay. That's bringing up soldiers, that's bringing up regular nationals from different countries like China and whatnot. And he's actually on the ground witnessing this. So let's listen. Excuse me.
I was just at San Vicente again. It's like 200 or 300 meters from it right here. So I'm right beside the camp. And in fact, these guys, well, they don't work at the camp. So anyway, the Senate front told me today, as have others in the Panamanian government, it does not look like the camps are closing. However, I'm getting some other signals that there may be within the United States government, there's talk about it, right? However, we also know that the Secretary of Homeland Security, Mayorkas, and others are talking about clearing people straight through Colombia and Guatemala. In other words, so they fly straight to the United States. We saw former Presidents Bush and Obama and Clinton all together talking about teaming up with American Express and others to send people directly into American cities, which they're already doing anyway, by the way. They're just talking about increasing that. And we see right now, Title 42 looks like it's about to drop. And I'm telling you, right now, we effectively have no border. We already know that. We're being completely invaded. And actually, the same thing here in Panama. The Panamanians are extremely upset. Panamanian government has told me that about 11% of the population, 11% of the population of Panama now is actually new Venezuelans, right?
Wow.
And so, and constantly they're bugging me here for money, the Venezuelans. And it's really angering the Imbra Indians, the Wunan Indians, the Kuna Indians, and the Panamanians. For instance, last time I was here about, 12 days ago, there were 6 Panamanian elders meeting at the next table over here. They're very angry, and they were talking about trying to close down these camps. So we've got everybody wants to close these camps down, except for the U.S. government, which is and the World Economic Forum and the Chinese Communist Party, which are using them as invasion camps. At the same time.
See, the World Economic Forum, the U.S. government, and the CCP. All right. This is a worldwide orchestrated takeover. Okay, this is the left hand of the Most High moving with Esau Edom at the head of it. Okay.
Over in Europe.
Well, that's what I want to ask you was about the Chinese next, because you have told me privately, you sent me some videos of a lot of Chinese nationals moving through this area and even receiving money on the streets there. Lots of things happening that are very concerning, because this Panamanian, these camps aren't just about South Americans or Central Americans moving through. Somehow Chinese nationals, which could be CCP operatives. I believe that you've probably seen some CCP operatives, have you not?
No, clearly. I mean, the signs and symptoms are obvious. In fact, there's about 40 Chinese in this camp beside me right now. That was about an hour and a half ago. That number by now will have changed. Some will have just taken off in the buses, and others will be adding in. So they're constantly, it's coming and going constantly.
So, I mean, one of the big questions in my mind was, how do Chinese even get there in the first place? Now, you sent me this video the other day that showed, it was a Chinese language video that was talking about how to go from city to city. You take a boat here, you take a horse, you...
Let me fast forward it a little bit. Okay. Start about here. 10 minutes.
This route. then it can get dangerous again. It just depends on where you're at. But here through the Panama phase, they'll pay extra money and then they just get through.
Wow. Okay. Did you happen to catch the recent interaction between Senator Ted Cruz?
Now, what he's getting ready to talk about is exactly what we watched here. Okay. Now, listen to what Michael Yan says.
And DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, where Cruz was, basically forcing him or demanding that he answer questions about, isn't the border a crisis? Aren't Americans placed in danger and so on? And Mayorkas just refused to answer everything. Complete cover-up, total denial that there's any problem whatsoever. Have you seen that interaction, or are you aware of that?
I was unaware of it until you just said it. But right here beside me, about 700 meters away, is where Mayorkas lands in his helicopters. Like last April in 2022, he landed in 4 Blackhawks right here, right in front of me. And this year they came down again last month in April, same place, and they've expanded the camps here. Mayorkas has personally come down here.
So Mayorkas,
he is directly involved.
Yeah, it seems like from what you're saying that Mayorkas is overseeing the expansion of these camps, not shutting them down, and that when Senator Ted Cruz expresses concern about the border, Mayorkas just refuses to answer because he's running. I mean, let's be honest. Mayorkas is running a massive human trafficking criminal cartel, is what it seems like to me, or a campaign. I mean, Mayorkas is a human trafficker. Would you disagree with that?
Oh, it's obvious. I mean, they don't even hide it. I mean, they're handing out rape kits. I have one in my room. I mean, these are pre-rape kits.
They're handing out rape kits. You see that? Okay? They finna bring the Most High, Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai is getting ready to bring the pain through to the States, man. Okay? So you people out there can keep playing games all you want to. The fact of the matter is that this is going on right now as we speak. They already over here, all right? They are already here. I'm going to let them talk a little more, and I'm going to fast forward a few more minutes ahead.
Bracken calls them. I mean, they have male condoms, female condoms. They have abortion pills. I mean, they hand them out to males and females as they come through the Darien Gap. And a lot of these children clearly are not the children of the parents that they're with. They don't even look the same. I mean, you hear the Panamanians all the time. They're very angry. Panamanians have a heart too, and they don't like what they're seeing. But what can they do? Because the United States is pushing this on the government of Panama, destroying the jungles here, and sending, malaria is through the roof here. The malaria, of course, isn't spread by humans, but it is spread by humans. The humans bring it, and the mosquitoes are the male service. So the mosquitoes take it from human to human, right? Same with dengue. And dengue is going through the roof here. Malaria, and this is...
So that's going to be another way of pestilence, all right? He's going to, if I was to let it play some more, he's going to talk about how a lot of people are infected with tuberculosis that they allow them to come over here, all right? So I'm going to fast forward a little bit more to this other point, okay? Forgive me. Bear with me. I just want, you to hear it with your own ears if you haven't watched this already. All right? And the link is in the description box of part 1. All right?
Time in Europe in the last year or so, and I've spent more than 6 years there in total. And you can see Europe is just like on quaking legs right now. It's not, this thing is definitely going to blow. If we don't close our... It's already too late we're not going to get through this without pain. We're going to have a lot of pain. And the pain is only increasing day by day as these borders remain wide open. And not only wide open, but facilitated. The pump is primed, and the U.S. government, I call it OGUS, the occupying government of the United States, is actually pumping our borders with millions of people that shouldn't be there, filled with diseases that are making the Panamanians sick. They're making people sick every step of the way.
And do they realize what they're walking into? Because, a lot of these people think America is a free country, a country of opportunity, yet, America's cities are collapsing. It's a totalitarian regime in charge that stole the election. Democracy has failed in America. Freedom of the press, freedom of speech is gone. You have the DOJ prosecuting people for exercising their First Amendment rights in America. The cities are being gutted with violence and crime. The police don't have sufficient funding. I mean, do these people realize what they're walking into, which is an Orwellian nightmare dystopian sci-fi collapse picture or something? Do they have any idea?
Different ones are walking in for different reasons. It's clear that some of the Chinese are on a mission, and they're here to take the United States. And then there's other Chinese that are no doubt just think they're going into a better place or escaping from China or something. And so it's going to be a mixture, of course. But what I think what most of them don't see is that they are part of a replacement strategy. It's the same in Europe. I mean, this idea of a replacement strategy, some people, again, will call it conspiracy theory, but those people are actually idiots. I mean, let's just call them what they are. They're actually idiots. I am a war correspondent. This is what I do for year after year, decade after decade around the world. Replacement strategies with weaponized migration is a real thing. It has been for many centuries. There's nothing new about it. And I mean, Stalin did it, Mao did it, just long list of people that do these replacement strategies. Hitler has done it. First you label the enemy, for instance, with whatever Kulak or Jew or Polish or whatever, and then you just tell people, go take their stuff, go take their house, go take their farm, go take their whatever. And interestingly, oftentimes the people who end up being the victims were part of the ones who facilitated it. They're the ones who actually push these policies forward, right?
Yeah, like a lot of liberals in America, they don't realize what they're unleashing upon themselves.
I see it now with some of the Texans, for instance, who are behind Bush or behind Abbott or whatever. They seem to think that they're going to come out ahead. They're going to be killed. They're going to be killed. Their ranches are going to be taken, right? That's how this goes, right? This is no joke, right? This is actual war, right? This is not like, hey, we're going to negotiate this later. No, they're going to kill you, and they're going to take your ranches, and they're going to take your farms. That's how this goes. It's an old story. It's a tale as old as time. And every day we get weaker and they get stronger.
So how many, I mean, I'm trying to get a sense of just the annual flow here. I mean, obviously it's.
You can see Mike Adams, he can't believe it. But he can believe it. But he had that sigh of, yes, it's gonna go down, because it is gonna go down, man. All right, just like he said, and this is for mainly for you, Jakes. This is your trouble that's coming, because you ain't prepared for this. Your mind is not prepared for this, man. Let me get that in the book of Jeremiah, the 6th chapter. Jeremiah 6. Okay. As you heard him say, they gonna take people's ranches. They gonna take over, man. All right, because the Most High is gonna be with them. All right, the Most High is gonna be with them to wreak this havoc out here, man. This is Jeremiah chapter 6, verse 25. It says, "Go not into the field, nor walk by the way, for the sword of the enemy in fear is on every side." Okay, it's gonna be everywhere, man. "O daughter of my people, gird thee with sackcloth, and wallow thyself in ashes." Excuse me, sackcloth and putting your head with ashes is a form of mourning, lamenting, all right, and being in a very pitiful case. Okay, this is what the Most High is saying. Prepare yourself for. Okay. "O daughter of my people, gird thee with sackcloth, and wallow thyself in ashes. Make thee mourning as for an only son." Okay? I had seen a video the other day. A woman was riding around with her husband. They was looking for their son. And the medical examiner had called her phone, and she's recording herself. And the medical examiner told her to pull over. And she knew within her spirit that her son was dead. All right. She was crying even before she got the confirmation. But when she got the confirmation, she was the most bitter and lamentation you can hear from a woman is a woman that loses her son. Okay. So this is the type of mourning the Heavenly Father is getting ready to bring out here on all levels. Okay. As for an only son, most bitter lamentation, for the spoiler shall suddenly come upon us, as you just heard Mike Yonner say. Mike Yon, excuse me. He's seeing it. He's witnessing it. All right. It says, I have set thee for a tower and a fortress among my people, that thou mayest know and try their way. But that was it. That was the key point there. Okay. And again, this happened going back with the Babylonians. Okay. The Most High sent them in there to try us, man. Just like these nations are coming over to try us again. All right, we getting ready to be tried out here, man, and it's not gonna be fun. All right, for a lot of Jake, it's gonna be a lot of death out here. Death is gonna reign in Babylon the Great, man. Okay, now let me let them talk a little more, and I'm gonna go to 2nd Ezra 15, and then we we can close it out after that.
What are the numbers? Any idea?
Nobody actually knows, but it's definitely in the millions. On this highway right here behind me, this is Highway 1, that you keep seeing the cars go by. The current rate, the instantaneous rate, is more than 400,000 a year just on that little artery, right? That's just one. Of course, then we've got Canada. We've got people coming up on the beaches in Florida. We've got people just landing at Atlanta Airport in Los Angeles and New York. I mean, getting with actual visas. And we've got people that fly to places like Nicaragua first or Mexico, and they just bypass this totally. So there's all kinds of different routes.
So they over here, okay? They've been coming since the so-called pandemic. Millions, hundreds of thousands of soldiers trained to kill, okay? They already here. Fast forward a little
Talked
bit.
with the mayor and some others there, in both in Tokyo and in Ishigaki. And what they're concerned about is when something finally happens with Taiwan, a huge amount of fishing boats are going to take people over to places like Ishigaki Island, and they're just going to supplant all the Japanese that are there who are going to have to leave. And it's going to be a bunch of mainlanders, basically. And that's Okinawa Prefecture, by the way. That's basically like coming to the Florida Keys, and from the Florida Keys, of course, then Florida and the United States.
Right.
So it's the same tactic everywhere. It's not just United States. It's not just Europe. It's also Japan, Australia, Kiwi land, the whole works.
Well, and some would argue that in the United States, cities like Minneapolis have already been replaced.
It's gone. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's not what it was 20 years ago, and the American people are being pushed out of many areas. Of course, along the southern border now, we have also not just human trafficking, but weapons trafficking, and I mean heavy grade weapons, explosives, mortars. I have this from my other contacts: explosive vests, suicide vests, and then China shipping in things like full auto drop-in triggers and illegal suppressors that are sometimes caught by Customs and Border Protection. By the way,
Now you see why the Lord said He was gonna have to send Michael. Let me get that. This is that time, man. Daniel 12:1, and at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people, because we don't have these type of weapons. The weapons of our warfare are not carnal. All right. Okay. These devils are getting ready to orchestrate the greatest assault there has ever been on the children of Israel, man. Because like I said, yeah, it's invasion of America, this, that, and the third. The main focal point are you tribes, man. This is coming for you tribes mainly. All right. It says, and there shall be a time of trouble such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time, and at that time shall thy people shall and at that time thy people shall be delivered, everyone that shall be found written in the book, the elect. Okay? The elect is gonna be delivered from all this hell that's coming. Okay?
Way CBP. It seems like, Michael, it seems like they're staging not just the people for a domestic war in America, but they're staging all the equipment. So they're actual, I mean, even uniforms have been staged so that some CCP members can go to a location, grab an automatic rifle, grab a police uniform, grab high explosives, and go out and start pretending to be a law enforcement officer and start blowing up refineries, for example. Like, that's all being staged and set up.
And this is why I read Jeremiah the 6th chapter. Because when shit get to blowing up, you know, mofos running out there with them big ass ARs and RPGs and really tearing shit up like you saw in Olympus Has Fallen and London Has Fallen, like you saw in them movies. All right, that's when it's gonna be fear to go outside. It's gonna be very dangerous outside, man. Brothers and have dreams of these type of things. All right. You ain't gonna have to worry about no woman popping off at the mouth in them days. She gonna do whatever you want her to do for your protection. Talking to the hopeful elect, man. And you gonna have more than one. Okay? Because they don't want no parts of what's getting ready to happen. All right? First ones snubbed out in war are women and children. That's why I played that clip from the news what happened down in Texas, man. Children was being gunned down. He gunned down children, man. You think these troops ain't gonna show mercy to children? They ain't gonna show no mercy to children. All right?
You're just watching the human component, but there's all these weapons that are being staged at the same time. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, for instance, in all these countries down here, like CCP buying land all through Central America, not just here, Cambodia, all over the world, various islands around the world, generally buying land right by the sea, right? Obviously, Mexico is turning in the direction of CCP. We see, for instance, countries like Netherlands. You know, I spend a lot of time there. And the reason I go there is not for some random reason because I love Netherlands, which is a nice country. It used to be anyway. It's collapsing now. But the reason why I go to Netherlands is the same reason I'm in Panama. These are strategic pieces of real estate. The Netherlands, for instance, they're using the weaponized migration and stealing the farms from the farmers because the two number one and two ports in Europe are Rotterdam and Antwerp harbors, right? Rotterdam's number one and Antwerp's to the south is number two. And Rotterdam happens to be at the terminus or at the beginning of the railway that goes all the way to Shanghai, right? So this is the Chinese railway that goes all the way across Asia and ends up Rotterdam, right? And so
that's pretty much it I wanted to play on this. Like I said, this full interview, the link I put in part 1, some pretty good information he's bringing out. You know what I'm saying? He even gets to speaking about the famine that's coming upon us. You know? So, if the Spirit's on you to check it out, I suggest to check it out. So let's hit these scriptures here in 2nd Ezra's, the 15th chapter. All right. First, let's go to 14. I want to read this scripture here in the 14th chapter. Let me go here, hit this button. 2nd Ezra 14 and 13. All right. We in these times, man. Excuse me, man. 2nd Ezra 14 and 13, it says, Now therefore set thine house in order, and reprove thy people, comfort such of them as be in trouble, and now renounce corruption. This will be in. This is what we doing. And when we do these videos, this is supposed to comfort you. All right? Okay? 14. Let go from thee mortal thoughts. Cast away the burdens of man. Put off now the weak nature. Because that weak nature, this flesh, is going to get you killed out here, man. We got to be in the spirit of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, man. Because this shit, like I said, man, it can go down this summer. It can go down. You know what I'm saying? It could be a nice sunny day, just like 9/11. And booyah, they blew them mother effing towers up. Change society. The whole world saw that. And what's coming is gonna make that look like a walk in the park. All right? Because this next one that they got planned, I remember months back, going back last year, I did a video of National Guard audio leaks of them training at night with live ordinances in vans. All right, and parking them in buildings. Okay, live ordinances mean bombs and whatnot. Okay, where they trained at night and they were using night vision, not knowing where they were going, but they would park random vans and leave them there in vehicles in these cities, man. All right. So these things that's coming, it's gonna come, and if you ain't in the spirit, man, it's gonna shake your ass up. And I pray Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua keep the spirit upon me to endure these things, man. I ain't ever been in no war like scenarios, man. You know, only type of war I've been in is street fights. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, and sports wars. You know, it says 15, and set aside the thoughts that are most heavy unto thee, and haste thee to flee from these times. For yet greater evils than those which thou hast seen happen shall be done hereafter. And we hear where these great evils is getting ready to come. Okay? Now let's go to the 15th chapter. Go straight to the point. 2nd Ezra 15:14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. And one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. And this is going to be on steroids. All right? It's going to be on steroids, and Esau knows it. Okay? He this is why he's bringing in these different troops, staging weapons for these troops to get to and get cracking on American citizens, especially you, Jake. Okay? For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. All right? You're going to have the military out here. You're going to have these UN troops out here. So again, this is why I read Jeremiah the 6th chapter. The sword of the enemy in fear is going to be on every side. Okay? It says, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Okay? And that's Jeremiah the 30th chapter. Wherefore do I see men with their hands on their loins? Okay? Men are going to be afraid out here when this thing goes down, because it ain't going to be like a one time. It's going to be a non-stop occurrence of violence, bloodshed. All right? Dead people everywhere. Okay? It says, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods, because it ain't going to be nothing in the store. The stores are going to be ransacked. All right? Walmarts are going to be turned to holding facilities. and processing facilities. Okay, because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. And we here, the great tribulation is upon us. Okay, make no mistake about it. All the pieces of the puzzle, the Most High is bringing them all to fruition, and they all gonna meet. Okay, they all will meet, and all hell will break loose. And you got to have on the whole armor of Yahweh Shem Shai, pursuant to Ephesians the 6th chapter, in order for you to get through this, man. It's not a game. It's deadly serious. Okay? We are in a time of war, pursuant to Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 8. All right? A time to love, a time to hate. All right? A time, matter of fact, let me get that, and then I'll close it on that. Let me get that real quick. Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 8. A time to love and a time to hate. And Esau is getting ready to show you the hatred he has for you tribes. He already showing you in the spirit. They protecting that Marine that choked out that homeless man in the substation. All right? Choked the life out of him. Okay? They showing you they hate you, but they gonna show you that they really hate you. All right? A time of war and a time of peace. And we are not in the time of peace. We are in a time of war. And it will be brought to the shores and to the states domestically. All right? This place is going to be touched, as it is written in Isaiah the 47th chapter. O virgin daughter of Babylon. It will be no longer a virgin anymore when all hell gets to cracking off in this place. And this place is looking like the Middle East, but worse. So call halal Yahweh Shem Shai. Again, Lord will, this was edifying to the hopeful elect. And it's on to the next video. Shalom.